to another Connection Show here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, thanks for joining us today on our weekly show as we bring different organizations and different individuals from those organizations into our studio to talk about what's important around our viewing area. A lot of different organizations that do tremendous amount of work here in this viewing area to help everybody from kids to grown-ups to whatever. And we appreciate all the organizations coming in to visit with us. Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We're going to talk with a young lady about a very important program in the 14th Judicial District.
Crystal clear mountain streams, river rapids, and rolling hills with endless valleys. The beauty of the Ozarks we often take for granted. At Magnus Toyota, we never underestimate the value of our customers. As a third-generation family-owned business, Magnus Toyota has been operating here in the Ozarks for over 50 years. When we make a new deal, we make a new friend. Stop in and visit us today and see why our customers say we're the best. Magnus Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer on Highway 65 North in Harrison.
Arkansas Orthopedics and Sports Medicine now offers you 2 orthopedic surgeons, both trained in all the latest surgical techniques. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler specialize in all forms of orthopedic problems and injuries, from torn rotator cuffs to joint replacement, even sprains or broken bones. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler will see you quickly and with the highest standard of efficiency. The entire staff of Arkansas Orthopedics works to keep you moving. Call today for an appointment. Call Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler in Harrison at 741-8289.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television, and our first guest in the studio today has been with us several times. We do appreciate her coming to see us again, Christy Williams from CASA. Thank you, Christy, for coming in. You're always busy down there.
Yes.
But we appreciate you coming in. We want to talk a little bit about CASA. You've been in the studios before, and some people know what CASA is, and others kind of look at you a little strange when you talk about CASA. What's it stand for? That's probably the first place we need to start.
CASA stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates.
Okay. And primarily, maybe just kind of give a little brief on what you do as far as CASA itself.
CASA is only involved in situations where children are taken into the foster care system. Okay. We kind of stand in the gap, and or we're a voice for the children as they go through this time of crisis. And so we kind of check out the situation, and then we give a report to the judge to help the judge make a more informed decision concerning their futures.
So you work very closely, obviously, with the judicial system,
yes.
law enforcement and the judges and so on.
Yes, DHS. and the parent council, and just anyone that's involved with assisting these children in this time.
You know, there's a lot of we have had numerous organizations in here on our show, and sometimes you don't realize how complex the systems are. I call it the fingers that go out from the center that touch, like yourself and DHS and other organizations, where in your particular case it has to do with juveniles, with children.
Yes.
In many cases it may have to do with adults and children, or vice versa, adults, you know, everything from sexual abuse to whatever. But there's a lot of good organizations, and probably what makes the wheel go around is the cooperation of those organizations.
Very much so, very much so. We work in conjunction with The Call, which recruits, trains, and supports foster homes. We have a severe shortage of foster homes, which sometimes causes the children that are in care locally to be placed outside our counties.
Oh, wow.
That slows a lot of processes, and it just takes the kids not only out of their home, but out of their environment here. We work with Grandma's House, which is a child advocacy center. Sure. Just to see if there's anything that we can do during the times that, you know, any information that the judge might need to know. We work with the CACD, the Crimes Against Children Division of the State Police. We work with the attorney ad litem for the children. We work with the parent council while we're trying to reunify these families.
Wow.
So there's a lot of aspects, you know, and we work closely, of course, with DHS. The workers have such a huge caseload.
They do have.
That any way we can all cooperate does help things go faster for the kids, and that's the ultimate goal.
Do you get your initial input from any particular organization? I mean, like where would you get the name of a juvenile? Where would it normally come from?
CASA's not involved until the case is in court.
Okay.
And then at that time, either the judge or another attorney involved in the case requests that CASA be assigned.
Okay.
And then when we have an advocate available to take the case, then we assign that advocate to that specific case.
Okay.
And they begin working it.
We were talking before we started the show, and just give us some numbers. I mean, what are we looking at in a normal year, if there is such a thing?
Well, just as a picture right now, there are over 70 kids in Boone County alone.
Wow.
That are in care, and CASA's in need of advocates to serve those kids. We're with our current advocates, which we're so grateful for. We're only servicing about 40% of the kids that are in care.
What's the ratio you have to have of advocate to?
It kind of is based on the demands of each case.
Okay.
And the availability of the advocates. We try not put over 2 cases at a time on each advocate, because we want that thorough that not as many organizations have the time to commit to.
Sure. And
so it's a unique situation that our advocates are able to bring about, having the time to and the release from the judge to get the information needed. So we have a very unique role, and we need more advocates to help with that.
Wow! So if you have 70 kids involved in Boone County, then you have Marion, Newton, and Baxter County. Mm-hmm. My goodness!
Yes.
I mean, Baxter's probably a bigger county than population-wise, but I don't
Baxter
know about
and Boone are staying pretty equal as far as kids in care. They're relatively within 10 to 15. To 20 kids.
So let's just say we're both roughly 70, then what would Marion and Newton be? Quite a bit less?
Marion and Newton run a lot lower, and so we're looking at under 200 children, but that's still a relatively high number. Gotcha. And any kids in care, they're in crisis, and this is our future. These children are our future.
Wow. Let's go back to the advocates situation. If somebody out there in the viewing audience said, well, boy, CASA sounds like a great organization, I've got some time, I'd like to get involved, obviously they can contact your offices here. How much time would you look? Well, first of all, what kind of training do you have to go through?
First of all, our advocates go through a thorough background check. We don't want to expose children to any further trouble. We make sure that the people that we put in advocacy are well-rounded individuals. Right. Then they do go through 30 hours of classroom training.
Okay.
They also go through court observation, and throughout the whole time we're still doing the screening process to assure that the individuals that we're charging with this responsibility are up to that challenge. Okay. And then we ask that advocates be prepared to volunteer for 10 to 15 hours a month. Well, some months are going to be more, depending on the beginning of your case is a little busier, and then some months are going to kind of be a little bit of slower time. So it's kind of an average of 10 to 15 hours. We do ask that advocates be willing to commit to the length of a case, which is generally from 1 year to a year and a half.
Okay.
Consistency is important in these kids' lives, and we have a lot of changing people in changing roles, and we'd like for CASA to be a consistent. So we ask that the advocates consider that commitment time.
Yeah, that's not, I actually thought it might be even more than that.
Some cases do go on, but we've also seen a few cases here recently where the parents have just really stepped up and taken care of things and reunified their family quickly. So the high end and the low end average out to a year to a year and a half.
Well, that's really, currently, let's say if you've got 70 kids, have you got 30 or 40 advocates in the program right now? Or?
In the 14th Judicial District, we're running around 30.
Are you?
But we need so many more.
That's not very many, really.
We would love to have advocates waiting for a case.
Wow, that'd be good to do,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you get any, like area churches, let's say, could they be a feeder for you for some of these individuals?
Yes, we would love to rely on our community. We have a campaign called I Am for the Child, and it's really our community's responsibility to surround these children.
Yes.
You know, in the absence of parents, who is going to stand in? And we need our community to stand up and say, I'm for the child, regardless of what brought on the situation.
Well, we hope you do. We got about 4 minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk about your fundraiser that you've got coming up. It's an annual event. I think it's your 4th year, if I saw that correct.
Yes.
I'll just let you talk about it a little bit here.
It's our 4th annual Chili Con Casa, chili cook-off. And we have a lot of people around the area that brag on their awesome chili, and this is the opportunity to come and put up or
whatever.
put up. Bring out their chili recipes. We have a lot of people already signing up, and it's going to be great. For cookers, if you just want to come and cook your chili, it's $25 entry.
Okay.
If you want to be a sponsor and cook, that's $100.
Okay.
And you can also just sponsor for $100. We're going to have tickets for the public to come eat for $5. Kids 6 and under will eat free. But we're going to have inflatables for the kids, and we'll have some music going. And the winners are judged on, there's 3 categories you can win in the chili cook-off. There's the People's Choice. Everyone who buys a ticket to eat also gets to vote.
Okay.
And then we have a Judge's Choice. And we also have the best booth, because we want people to come and show off.
You're doing this at the Youth Center again?
It is at the Youth Center again.
Very good.
Hopefully our weather will cooperate.
Be like it is today?
Yeah, it's going to be February 27th.
Okay.
It'll start at 5 p.m.
Okay. Now, is that both things, the tasting, I know you have 2 different sheets there. Is that tasting and everything starts at 5?
Everything starts at 5, yeah.
Okay,
We have our cookers come a little early and set up.
Okay.
But it'll be open at 5 for people to start
And go
coming
till
in.
about
8 o'clock.
8
We
somewhere
kind of
in there.
estimate if we're having a really good time, we may stay longer.
So it's a family event. You can come down, bring the kids
very
and
much
come
so.
in. And obviously all the proceeds go to CASA.
Yes.
To help
Yes,
out.
definitely.
It sounds like a lot of fun. You know, it's amazing. Out in the viewing audience, I promise you, there's a lot of people out there that enjoy cooking, number one. And number two, kind of specialize in certain things, like some people get into barbecue, some get into baking, others get into chili or stews or whatever. But you know, it's always a fun thing when everybody likes to go somewhere to have an opportunity to let other people try what they think is the best.
Right, it's a great community time, and we have people bringing their deer chili and
I thought about that.
just all kinds of varieties. It's a wide range.
That's good. Well, so this event will take place at the Youth Center again. So if they want to sign up, do they contact CASA here?
Yeah, you can contact CASA either on our Facebook page or on our website, which is casa14.org.
Okay.
Or you can call the office at 743-2212.
So either one of those, yeah.
Any one of those.
You have a good website, too. I mean, it's easy to get around and find stuff. Well, this is a fun event. It's something that if you're out there and you want to have some fun, if you want to just do some tasting and, you can be the critic against the people that are out there doing what they think they're best at, or you can try to be one of those that's the best in making chili. And again, it goes to CASA, court-appointed special advocates, and they need your help out there. A lot of kids in the 14th district, a couple of hundred kids out there, and they need volunteers. So if you happen to have a little time, as Christy mentioned, anywhere from 10 to 15, 20 hours a month, that's not a lot. A lot of organizations require a lot more time than that, and this certainly goes to a good cause. It's for the youth in the area. Christy, it's always a pleasure to have you come in and for your wonderful work, and take special people to do what you do. So we appreciate that very much. Stay with us. Be back for the second half of our Connection show in just a moment, and we're going to talk with another organization that's got a lot of things going on as well.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart Pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Attention safe drivers, keep your vehicle safe with new tires from Worley Tire. Stop in and visit with our friendly and knowledgeable staff and get the tires that are best for your car, truck, or SUV. You can even shop with us online at WorleyTire.com. Worley Tire also features batteries, alignments, tire rotation, and repair. Visit us on the web and like us on Facebook for the latest deals and specials that can keep you and your family safe. Worley Tire, 804 East Stevenson in Harrison.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, thanks for joining us again this week on our weekly Connection show, bringing different groups and organizations into our studio and hopefully passing on some good information to you, our viewers, in our viewing area. Our next guest on the show today is John Henderson. I've known John for a long time, and John is with the Harrison School District, but more importantly, he's with a program, or has a program that he's responsible for, that's a little different. It's quite exciting, and it's gotten a lot of accolades across the state of Arkansas in particular. John, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me here.
It's been a while. We see each other just passing anymore. We used to see each other quite often.
Yeah.
East, tell us a little bit about the East program, then we're going to get into some specifics.
All right, East stands for Environmental and Spatial Technology. That really doesn't give you any idea of what we do. We are a classroom that has a lot of technology, and community service is a big priority for us. We like to do things to benefit the community. And so you've seen, my classroom at the middle school. We had a project a couple years ago where we put some exercise equipment around Lake Harrison. Mm-hmm. The junior high this year has had a project, or last year with that hand, the prosthetic hand that they developed using a 3D printer. It's really it's a classroom that is, we don't have tests, we don't have classic type of assignments. Kids come up with their own projects, something that they're interested in, something they have a passion about, and they pursue that. And we have the technology that allows them to do a lot of things that they normally couldn't do. Things like 3D printers, and we do a lot with videography and film editing, and we're starting to move a little bit more towards website development and coding, programming, that type of stuff also. High school has done some amazing things with technology, and they've got some projects they're working on right now, along with one that they're teaming with the middle school about. But they've had some kids just do some incredible stuff up there as well.
So, John, is this middle school students, junior high and high school? Is that the range?
Yeah, we started out with the East program started at the middle school. The second group was at the high school, and then the junior high got a class last year.
Okay. Now, don't you have another person that also teaches the East program? Are you doing all the?
I do only the middle school. Anthony Bright is at the high school, and Mary Beth Hatch is at the junior high.
Three different
teachers.
Teachers, okay, instructors and so forth. We were talking before our show, and I asked John, I said, well, is this a nationwide program? And he said, well, it is in other states, but it actually started in Greenbrier, Arkansas. So it's an Arkansas-originated program.
It is an Arkansas program, and it has as a education model, it is starting to be emulated around the country and has won several awards for the things that they have been able to accomplish. It's really, to me, it's what education is going to be in the future. It's all project-based. It allows kids to really do things they just couldn't do. And we've had kids who, we have our state test, and that measures your proficiency in literacy or math. But we have kids who speak before the city council and go to do presentations. And the things that they learn and how to write a letter, the gain in confidence, the gain in, just persistence to be able to see a project through are things you can't really measure, but those are important skills in our world today.
Absolutely.
Those are the things that we really, for 21st century jobs, that's what they look for. People who can solve problems, people who are creative, people who can work together. And so that's what East is really trying to accomplish. It's the process of doing the project that we look at. You know, the projects quite often get a lot of publicity, but it's the process of doing that project where you see all the student growth. And you will see kids who have never before been able to stand up and speak to a group, and now all of a sudden they're talking to, you know, the Kiwanis Club or the Rotary Club and doing a good job. So that's really what East is about. It's you know, a lot of our projects get attention, but it's the growth of those students during the process of that project that's really important.
Wow, that is. That's really individual building. And
oh, absolutely.
The East program itself, is it something? Do you sign up out there when you go to when school starts? Do you sign up for the East program like you would any other elective type program, or how would the
it's handled differently at all the different schools? Usually the junior high and high school, it's an elective.
Okay.
So the students will sign up for it. We've done it a couple different ways at the middle school. We've had it to where all the kids were exposed to it at one time. This year, because of time constraints, we've limited to we've limited to about 20 students this year.
Okay.
And those were just students who had gone through an application process at the end of last year to get into East.
Now, would they get credit for the East program? Like, is there a credit?
Yes, junior high and high school, it's a regular credit class.
Okay.
And of course, we're moving. The schools are all across the state are moving more towards computer science, and I'm not sure exactly how those credits will be in the future. But right now it would be an elective credit for most of the classes.
I was assuming it probably would be. Anything else you want to touch on the East program, and then we want to get into this other program?
No, East, I think I pretty much covered it. East is, to me, like I say, it's the future of education. It's the direction we need to go. I think you'll be hearing a lot more about East in the future.
That's great, and it's good to hear that it is moving into other states and other systems across the country. And obviously, I like what your concept is very well. Ozarks Maker Center project is a project under the East program. I guess is that correct?
Yes.
Would I say that?
And what East does is East will typically partner with somebody in the community to accomplish a project.
Okay.
In this case, we are partnering with the Boone County Heritage Museum. I'm also on the board of directors at the museum. So this was in the beginning a museum project that morphed into an East project. Maker centers are something that have been around since about the 1970s. And very few people have heard of them, but a Maker Center is kind of like a community center with tools. It's a place where people can go and learn how to use things like 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines, where they normally couldn't have access to that type of stuff. So there is we're not having to start from scratch here. There are business models all across the country. I think there's a couple thousand of them now around the world, several hundred in the United States, including the Hub of Innovation in North Little Rock. Hub of Innovation is also working on one to be open in Fayetteville in the next year. So we want to do something similar to that. We want to have a place where people can come in after school or even during the school day and use a laser cutter. We will also have woodworking equipment. We will have some metalworking equipment. We'll have welders. Basically a place where you can come and fabricate anything that you want to fabricate. If you have an idea to make something, or if you just want to learn how to write code, or if you want to learn how to make a robot, or to program, or learn how to edit video, we want to be able to supply that service. If you want to go work at Pace and you need to have the skills to run a CNC machine, we want to be like an internship for companies like that. Or if you just need to retrain for a new job and you want to get into computer science, you want to learn how to program or learn how to create a really good website. Maybe you have a business and you need a website for that business. That's what we want to be able to provide. If you're a father and you have a son who comes home every day and plays on video games, come to the Maker Center, learn how to make your own video game. Build a birdhouse, do something. It's we want to get people doing things rather than just being passive, passively entertained by TV or video games.
Yeah, that's gotten to really be a major issue with these young people today. In fact, you can see generations gone by and the generations today and our future out there. I'm sure there's people in the viewing audience that have kids that as soon as they get home from school, first thing they want to do is get on the couch or go in their room and start playing video games or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you do it in increments, or you do it with some control. And I'd much rather see children get involved in being constructive and building on things that they'll use in the future.
Right.
I doubt unless they can compete on a national level playing video games, they're probably not going to make a whole lot of money in the future, even though they're fun at the time. We got about 3 minutes left. Okay, so the instruction to these people that will come in to your place down at by the museum there, to the building there, will you have other instructors coming in?
Absolutely.
I'm assuming you will. It's a community-based program.
Yes, and what we want is if we're going to have a CNC machine, we want instructors from PACE. We've actually been approached by FedEx about them supplying instructors for programming to do some of the things that they're doing. We want to find these experts in the community to come in and teach a class. We have high school kids who have, two brothers in particular, the Divine brothers. They have, I'm sure, have been in some local news here. They built their own quadricopter and have started their own company taking pictures, and did a fabulous job. I mean, these guys, they programmed their own thing. They fabricated a lot of the pieces on a 3D printer that they have at their house. They could teach a class on that, and kids could come in and learn how to make their own quadricopter. And at the end of the week, they've got something that they made and programmed themselves and can go out and fly themselves. We want to have classes in robotics. We want to have classes in even things like sewing and cooking. We want to have all that available, and really cater to the needs of this community.
That's fantastic. And then again, we have a lot of resources here.
Absolutely.
And for a small town, small market area, we have a lot of resources. Junior college here, the technical school, obviously all the things you're talking about, we offer at the technical college.
Right.
I call it the North Campus still.
Right.
But many other areas here, and we have a lot of people that are out there that teach classes. Volunteer to teach classes for the college, non-credit classes,
sure,
which are kind of in line with what you're talking about, that love to do that. They just makes them feel good. Their instruction and getting people in tune with what they're doing, whether it's birdhouses or whatever it may be. So we only got about a minute left. I got to tell you, I think this is a great step in the right direction, and no better than the East program to kind of push it forward, because it's very similar. You're doing it with kids now. You're offering it for adults or whoever wants to get out there and take part.
We actually, I think the high school East class will be heavily involved in this, teaching after school classes to younger kids. So it serves a double purpose. Our young teachers, our young facilitators who are in high school now will get the experience of teaching along with learning at the same time. So it's going to be great for everybody, I believe.
We want to stay in tune with this, John. If you would keep us posted here at the station, we'd love to have you on again, or we'd like to come over and we'll bring cameras and set up and come over and show some of this going on, so people will see what's on. And we put it, of course, on our broadcast and on the web and Facebook and all that stuff.
Well, we have a 6,500 square foot building, and
that's going to be great. That'll be good. I'm glad you got that, by the way. John, thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it. Good to see you. I hadn't seen you in a while, and congratulations. You're a wonderful job here on this East
Well,
program.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you coming
anytime. Ozarks Maker Center Project. You'll hear that a lot around the area. Glad you could join us on Connection today. We hope we brought some information to you may not know about. Check us each week as we bring in different groups here into our studio.
Local television worth watching. KTKO Channel 8.